Oh, sorry. I'm gonna put this down. I don't want to be the...
Perfect, excellent. No, it's good. Be relaxed, why not? This film has absolutely blown me away.
Oh, thank you.
From how it came out of nowhere for me as well. I was just scrolling through, not that you need to hear this, but scrolling through YouTube, and the trailer just popped up. And from that trailer, and I will ask you about this because it's such a well-edited trailer to the film. That's what caught me instantly. And then having watched the film, it's just, for me, it's a masterpiece. I think it's truly great.
Oh, thank you.
But all and the kind of critical acclaim it's getting with respect to it being, you know, the next Exorcist and things like that. I initially read those and I thought, a little bit too high praise.
Yeah.
But I watched it at Sundance and I would genuinely agree with it, 100%.
Wow.
But what I want to ask you is, what drove you to write it and construct it in such a well-rounded way? Because to me, there's so many layers running through the film of, oh, it could be this, but it could be this, or it could be this. So many things which are running through it which are old school unnerving, but it doesn't rely on just bland horror tropes. It genuinely impressed me. So what drove you to write it, for starters?
Well, thank you. And first of all, I agree with you about the trailer. I had nothing to do with it, but A24 is so great with the marketing, and I'm very happy with how they've been pushing this film out there. I'm happy to hear you say that, you know, it felt like it belonged to an older tradition, because I feel that it is it's nodding to, you know, to those, I guess, more antiquated horror films that I grew up loving, like Rosemary's Baby and Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
While, you know, striving to hopefully be something new, but at the same time, it's also, you know, unabashedly a horror film and is acknowledging the tropes. And, you know, I feel like there is, I've said this before, but I feel like there is this complacency that comes with watching horror films. People, people know the formulas, they know the tropes, and it becomes like a type of comfort food, right? Where it's like it's satisfying, and, you know, because it's satisfying to see a film do exactly what you're expecting it to do, in a way, and then it creates, you know, passive viewers to have these genres that are where these films are pumped out, you know, one after the other, and they're just kind of meeting the demands of the genre in a you know, a pretty rote way. And so I'm hoping that the film honors certain traditions while at the same time upending them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think there are a lot of things that are meant to sort of strike one as familiar, especially in the beginning of the film. And as we go through, and I'm hoping that they're played with in a way that, you know, might startle certain viewers out.
I think you're going to startle quite a lot of people.
Yeah, out of that complacency. Oh, well, thank you.
It's so, like, for me, because I've released my review already, speaking about the non-spoilers and the spoilers. But for me, when I was watching the film, you've got, and there are some things which are horror tropes, but you don't play into them. So you've got things like the little miniatures, which you kind of question. You go, oh, is there something going on there?
Right.
But no, there's not. Oh, she's sleepwalking. Is there something going on there? Oh, but no, there's not. And you know, like you say, there are some tropes there which you kind of go into a little bit, but then you just trundle along completely down what I would say is an old path, but a new path. So in terms of honouring the older kind of style of horror movies. But where's the inspiration behind this? How did you come to write this film?
You know, it's hard to say, you know, like it's hard to point to anything that, you know, that explicitly, like, got this thing going. But I can say that, you know, I wanted to make a film that served as a vivid family drama before any of the horror elements were even thought about, let alone attended to or executed. And I wanted all of the scary stuff, to grow out of what we established in the first hour of the film.
Yeah.
And so, so I wanted it to come from a place of character. I wanted to make a very character-centric film that where all of the genre stuff is satisfied, but it's all growing out of the themes at the heart of the film and the suffering that the family is going through. It is a film about suffering. I hope it's a very sorrowful genre film, and I hope it functions as a serious meditation on grief and trauma, while also hopefully being a very compelling and fun ride.
So I don't know if you have, and I hope you have, and if you haven't, I think you really should. But have you been to any of the screenings where people have watched this and seen their reaction?
I have. It's been
and is
fun.
that the reaction which you wanted?
Yeah, well, it's funny. You get so lost in the minutia of making a film and executing a film, and in a lot of ways, I forgot that I had made a horror film, and so seeing it with an audience for the first time, like that was it was a reminder, like, oh right, I intended to make something that that got an audience going, and so there are scenes where collectively the audience tends to scream or react at the same moment, and I had never had that experience as a filmmaker before, sitting in a theater and kind of it's a verifiable thing, like whether the audience is with you or not. I mean, you can't say if they like it or not, but those moments where you feel that the film is working on the audience and it's palpable, that that's huge. And I had never experienced anything like it before, but it's addictive. I want to do it again. Yeah.
So one thing I do want to say, just kind of to finish, is for me what was so good in terms of the old school is, rather than jump scares and things like that, there's the occasional bit where you go, oh, there's a person in the background there or something like that, but it's not jump scares. What I find so unnerving about the film, which I think is fantastic and leans more into the old school, and I hope you would agree, and probably why you did it, but it's the character traits. So the little girl, for instance, just that little tick, that noise, and it just repeats and repeats and repeats. What gave you that? I mean, where did that come from? Where was the inspiration behind having, that as a kind of a nuanced thing to bring through the film?
Well, that actually, the fact that that's become such a thing has been sort of a surprise to me, because that was ultimately a device it's a spoiler to explain why I needed that, but I did need some sort of audible, this auditory thing that that we could bring back, and so it really was never actually designed to be something that was creepy or that stuck with people. It was just a very helpful device, especially in writing the script, and so the fact that that's become such a thing and that's caught on in such a big way it's great, and I'm so happy about it. But that's just one of those really happy accidents that where it's like I wasn't thinking about it, and then suddenly it feels like this calculated thing, and I should probably come up with some bullshit answer about how...
Do it to the next person.
Yeah, exactly.
So good to meet you. Thank you so much. So I hope you enjoyed my interview with Ari Aster, the writer and director of Hereditary. I also just want to take this moment to obviously thank the opportunity for being able to be there and interview them. That all comes down to you guys, my subscribers. Thank you so much. I hope you really did enjoy it and kind of got a little bit more of an insight into the film, and maybe it will pique your interest in going to watch it. It's not a promo piece or anything like that. I genuinely wanted to know more, and I genuinely wanted to speak to the guy who created a film which I now absolutely love. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go out and see the film. It is available, I believe, the 15th or the 16th of June in the UK and the 8th or the 6th of June in the USA. It's on wide release, it's out in theatres. Please do go and support this film. It's not often we get good horror movies in the theatres anymore. So please do go and support it. if you trust my opinion. If you don't, I'm not going to say go out and watch it, but it's a great film. I think you'll have a great time, and I hope you come back and you tell me if you enjoyed it. Guys, if you are new to the channel and you enjoyed this interview, then please do hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more in the future, more movie reviews, more press junkets, things like that. Guys, I've been Mr. H, and I'll catch you in the next video.